Final minute. Steph Curry working the two-man action with Draymond Green. Step back over Brook Lopez. Nails it. He had 35 in the game. They go up 3. Then, two-possession game. Draymond Green says, Kawhi Leonard, I'm stealing your cookies. And the Warriors are able to hold on after being down double digits to win 126-121. Draymond, only 7 points, but he had 4 steals in this one. Golden State at 37-45 get the victory over the Clippers, who were 42-40 at the end of the regular season. Curry, he had 8 points in the first half, put up 27 in the second. How about Guy Santos with 20? Kristaps Porzingis balled out. Somebody who don't see on here, Al Horford, he also went nuclear in the fourth quarter. 14 points, 4 of 7 for 3. And Kawhi Leonard only 2 points in the fourth after scoring 19 through 3. Time now to welcome in CBS Sports NBA analyst John Gonzalez. And John, pregame, you said that Draymond Green would be the X factor. And even though he doesn't score a whole lot of points, he doesn't get into double digits, the defense that he displayed against Kawhi Leonard, a future Hall of Famer, one of the greatest scorers the game has seen, he's able to put the clamps on him. How was he able to execute at this level?
Yeah, huge effort from Draymond Green because, he didn't score a ton tonight. Obviously, that's not always his game. That's not usually his game, but he can impact the game in so many different ways. And when we're talking pregame about how Draymond could have an impact, there's any number of ways, right? We can rebound, pass. But in this specific instance, playing lockdown defense on Kawhi Leonard, who had 19 points through the first 3 quarters, end up with 21 points. He had a meaningless bucket at the very end of the fourth quarter when the game was already decided, and Draymond Green absolutely locked him down. Now, Steve Kerr sent some blitzes, some double teams, but to be able to limit Kawhi Leonard in that fourth quarter to mount the comeback where, Al Horford goes and hits 4 big threes, and Steph Curry, we were told Steph Curry was going to be on a minutes restriction. So much for that. He had 35 points in 36 minutes. So Draymond Green doing his part on the defensive end allowed the Warriors to make that offensive comeback. And they didn't get a lead in the fourth quarter, their first lead in the fourth quarter since the second quarter until much later. And they overcame so many things in this game, Chris. I mean, they had 20 turnovers and they missed a ton of free throws, and they still come away with what felt like a really improbable win. That was their first win in the Intuit Dome. So, hey, credit to the Warriors, turning back the clock. Not dead yet, still alive.
Yeah, they shot 46% from 3. 46%, 19 of 41. Would you say that was the defining factor of why they were able to pull out the victory? We talked about the defense, right, early with the blitzes that Kerr threw at them. Draymond playing great as well. But do you feel like the three-point shooting, Curry being able to show us, even at his age, that he's still got it, Al Horford, KP hitting threes, like this was really a true team effort from deep?
Yeah, that was really a big part of it, right? Because they had, again, to overcome a lot here. They had a big deficit. Steph didn't play well or score well in the first half. They missed a bunch of free throws, which is uncharacteristic for them. And so they had to do these little things. And then all of a sudden in the second half, everybody got hot. Steph came back. He was shooting the lights out. You mentioned Kristaps Porzingis. He made some really nice plays. He was shooting the lights out. And then Al Horford in the fourth quarter. I mean, without him, they don't win this game, right? They had 4 big threes from Al Horford where he hit them, one after the other. And you're thinking to yourself, how can they even be in this game with all the turnovers they had and all the free throws they missed? And that's it right there. They got hot from deep. And that's really what this Warriors team had to do. This is not a good offensive team this season. They were just 19th in offensive rating. But when you have Steph Curry and you have some shooters out there who can get hot, it's kind of a perfect storm, but it happened tonight. You have Steph having a vintage Steph Curry game, and then these other supporting players who can make threes dropping those shots, and then the Clippers have to feel absolutely stunned that they lost this game because of all that.
Yeah, and on the other side, we talk about supporting pieces. Darius Garland looked like he was on his way to being, the Robin to Batman, to Kawhi's Batman, but instead, Kawhi's only able to have 2 points in the fourth quarter. Where do the Los Angeles Clippers go from here, man? Because they have a lot of questions entering the offseason after a very tumultuous regular season.
Yeah, this is a tough one for them because they thought, okay, we're in the driver's seat. We're winning this game. Now, all of a sudden, they're out of the play-in. They're out. Their season is over, right? And they lost in the first round the last 3 seasons. This year, they don't even make it to the playoffs. And so you're going into an offseason that's going to be pretty uncomfortable for the Los Angeles Clippers because, Kawhi Leonard had a fantastic season. He made All-Star. He's going to make All-NBA. But he's got this investigation looming over his head for the no-show job, and then also an investigation into tampering when he was leaving Toronto. Did the league potentially void his contract? I don't think it's going to be that extreme, but could they take picks away? Darius Garland, yes, he looked excellent tonight. Maybe they're trying to build around him. Benedict Mathurin, who they got from Indiana in that trade that sent Zubac out, he's a restricted free agent as well. So you look at this team, they were to start the year, and that's part of the reason why they ended up getting Darius Garland in the first place. To start the year, they were the oldest team in the league. They did get a little bit younger, but they have so many questions, and this has to be a really rough way to go into that offseason when you're like, probably not relishing all the things that are coming. And on top of that, you just lost in your own building in a game that you had under control for most of it until you didn't.
Right. It was like, okay, the Warriors get within one possession or two, and then the Clippers go on their own personal 7 or 8-0 run. But then you can never underestimate the power of making threes and having a guy in Steph Curry. For the Warriors, they won 3 of 4 meetings against the Suns, who they'll next face for the right to play the Oklahoma City Thunder, the 1 seed. Do you feel like they have a good shot here to beat the Suns, or are we expecting the Warriors, their magic, so to speak, to run out against Phoenix?
Yeah, well, I thought their magic had already run out, right? Because this was not a good season for the Golden State Warriors. Steph Curry only played 43 games. He just turned 38 years old. They didn't rush him back from the ankle and knee injuries. I thought, man, this really feels like they're kind of going to just mail it in. We were told before this game that he was going to be on a minutes restriction, and then all of a sudden it was like, the Warriors have a chance to win this game, and Steph Curry was not coming out, right? He ends up playing 35 minutes. So if Steph Curry has any sort of effort even remotely resembling the one that he had tonight, they absolutely have a shot. Now, I initially picked the Suns to come out of the play-in, but the other night against Portland, Devin Booker was fine. Jalen Green was pretty good. Dillon Brooks was pretty good, but it felt like they struggled at times for offense, especially in the fourth quarter. And if the Golden State Warriors go to Phoenix and look like they look tonight, especially in their fourth quarter, I mean, you got to ride the hot hand, right? I think I'm leaning Warriors. They went from dead for me to all of a sudden, now I want to see Steph Curry against Oklahoma City in the first round. Give it to us.
Anyway, I would love that because he's made some incredible shots against OKC. But first order of business, you got to take care of the Phoenix Suns. John Gonzalez, always appreciate the insight, man. And here are the odds to win the Western Conference. The Thunder are the favorites at -155, and then the Spurs have the second best odds at +300, followed by the Nuggets at +600.